wanna, but you don't wanna give it to me. You say you need it, but you don't wanna give it to me. You say you want it, but you don't wanna give it to me. You say you need it, but you.
And I was worried the show was getting boring. It kept working all of the time. I hated it. Each time things were going so well. I only know how to do things when they're going wrong. Hello, Cameron Blunt Comedy. I bet you're very blunt with your comedy. I don't know what it's like when things are going right. What's going on, Ryan? Ryan Rowland, creative. He hit me with the wave. If you guys don't know, Ryan Rowland did the new graphic. If you couldn't tell, the old one was done by me, and you can tell the distinctive style of Ryan's in comparison to the graphic I did, because his is much better. We'll toss up. Watch this. We'll toss up the graphic of here's my graphic. Okay, and then here's Ryan's graphic. Okay, so they're very different. So the people who see this in post later will really appreciate this. There's a lot of crazy things going on in this world. I'm very excited by none of it. I'm seeing a lot of videos, and you know, people. I don't want to get too political, but I'm seeing a lot of videos of people and animals, where the animals are maybe there's like a bear sniffing a woman, and the woman's very still. She doesn't move, you know, and she's like, you know, she's not moving. I don't know if you guys have seen that viral video, and she's not fucking moving. Which I wouldn't do. I'd move the fuck out of everything, or at least move around a person, so that there's more space between me and the bear. It's a technique I use called putting a person between you. And then there's another one I've seen where there's like a water buffalo, or a bison. There's a bison of some kind that is rolls up on a lady and her man, or her ex-man, I assume, because he left pretty immediately. So I got to assume that relationship is over. But she doesn't move. She plays dead, like a cartoon, like a fucking movie cartoon. And I guess my number one question is, why the fuck are you people still going outside? Stop. Stop going outside without masks. So other big news items there are, I guess, Kanye, Trump, and the secret police, which is perfect because I was worried things were getting too political. I keep reading these things where it's just like, you shouldn't make fun of people that have like mental issues and things like that, which I guess we're assuming is going on with Kanye, which I think he's as much as said. And I guess my belief is you shouldn't, I'm guessing you probably shouldn't make fun of people who have mental issues, but you should make fun of crazy people. And people who say crazy things. Like Hitler didn't have mental issues, but he was crazy. Crazy Eddie, also crazy. Hitler and Crazy Eddie are two people I think should be okay to make fun of. I'm just saying. They said crazy things. Hitler wanted to kill all the Jews. That was crazy. Crazy Eddie wanted to give you stereos at well below retail. Also nuts, is my point. There is this argument that you also shouldn't use the word crazy because then it just, you know, it takes away all the onus on the person. It's just an easy way to make it seem like someone else is nuts, and I agree with that, because what if they have something nuanced to say, or what if they believe the opinion they say about you, but they just are bad at saying it because they have mental issues? Do you know what I mean? I think it's true. Yes, you shouldn't make fun of people who are different from you, but you know, like if someone with Tourette's who was like, you know, I was gonna do a whole joke about nigger. I'll just move on. No, seriously, if there's a guy with Tourette's and he's like in a store or a restaurant and he's just like, nigger, 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 like I wouldn't care about it. But if he was like, nigger, 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 fucking hate them niggers, like then I'd be like, oh, red flag. Guys, I want to be able to go outside and leave and be a part of things, but it's hard. No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried that I'm going to get canceled at any point. Mark Ruckus or whoever's there talking. I'm not worried. I think what you guys are worried about is called consequences, and I stand by my fucking jokes. Stand by what I fucking say. So really, you can't fucking cancel fucking standing up for yourself. Like, you can fucking fire people who are assholes, because it's a fucking publicity business. You know what I mean? So if you're a fucking asshole, people don't like your fucking personality, you get the fuck out of here. I'm so sorry. What a rough life you've lived. By the way, if there's one thing I do love about this whole lockdown, I love that you guys are talking about white cities now the way you talked about black cities yesterday. You guys used to be all like, Detroit, Harlem, those are horrible. Now it's like, Portland, shit, fuck that. I don't want to get shot. That's my favorite thing about that. I'm going to go to my guest, if you guys don't know. Today's show is brought to you by Pet Peeves. Pet Peeves, anyone can join in the fun, any relationship since the advent of divorce. Pet Peeves. Yeah, things were going well, but were they? Pet Peeves, it's like tiny racism, but for habits. Pet Peeves. Why would you know that makes me want to kill your entire family? I just told you 5 seconds ago. Pet Peeves, because that thing you're doing is really annoying. Pet Peeves, brought to you by, my ex used to do it, so stop. We're going to welcome my next guest today. His name. He's a man who doesn't need an introduction, but we're going to give him one anyway. Rapper, poet, writer, performer. Utkarsh Ambudkar. What's going on, man?
Pet Peeves in the building, man.
What's good, baby?
How are you, man? Thanks for having me.
I thank you for having me. That makes no sense. That's not how sentences work. Thank you for being here.
I saw Ryan Hollins is watching, which is incredible.
Ryan Hollins is in here. We're like internet buddies. We got to get on 2K together or something like that because he's a big nerd. I think he liked Timeless, and I just think he's a funny guy who says funny things.
We all love Timeless. It's such a good show. Hero in a hoodie is the catchphrase of the decade, man.
Why? It's time people recognize that. You know what I mean?
I was really excited with the way that they handled a lot of that stuff in your character, and I'm sad that show. I mean, I was hitting you up in real time. Remember, it was the only. It was the only show that I was like watching as it was coming out. I've replaced it with but it's been like 2 years.
It's been a little bit.
This year has been Snowpiercer. I watched because my buddy
David. Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to see it yet. I love David and I love the movie. I haven't gotten a chance to see the TV show yet. Is it worth it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I watched 10 weeks of Sunday nights for your pandemic. So yeah, like it was, I went from Last Dance into Snowpiercer. And then now the next show is Umbrella Academy on Netflix. I like that one a lot.
I really am into Umbrella Academy and I actually want to talk to you as a boy about it. But what I'm really fascinated about is I thought you meant Save the Last Dance and not the documentary by Michael Jordan. So I was really excited because I know your music background and I figured maybe that was an influence.
It could have been. Shout out to everybody who made Save the Last Dance work. Shout out to Fredo Starr, unsung hero.
Yeah,
The Last Dance.
Is that Fredro Starr from Onyx? Is that who we're talking about?
Oh yeah.
Who I think was in the Blade remake because I know weird TV shit like that. Did I see Shock's Waves is in this building or some shit like that?
Looks like Shock. Parvesh is here. Parvesh and I are on a television show called Mira, Royal Detective on Disney Junior. And Parvesh plays a guy you shouldn't trust. And he's very, very funny, as always.
Well, I love Parvesh. Where's my rolly? I usually use a rolly chair. The rolly chair. Anyway, so Parvesh, me and you both know Parvesh because he's a veteran. He's a very funny guy. Who else? Anybody else we think is dope and involved in the show? I love Parvesh. I did a musical thing with him. Here we go. Yeah! Fucking rolling chair. Fuck yeah.
Okay, then.
Okay?
Who got you the rolling chair?
It's my girlfriend, Amber.
Hi, Amber.
So
Thanks, Amber.
It's not like a random person. Like I have a different person bring me a chair for each, just so I have a different bit each time. That would be funny.
Is that Deadpool over your left shoulder? What's going on?
All right, this is who we got here. And this is done by an artist whose name I can't remember, but I should because I asked him to do a thing for me. This is an original cell my boy Tommy got me of Black Panther. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, but this one is we got Punisher over here.
Yep.
and we got Spider-Man. I think it's Zombie Spider-Man or Punk Rock Spider-Man.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I think the guy's name is Matt. I know his name is Matt because it's on the stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the gold plaque right above your head? The little gold.
I'm supposed to ask you questions, but I will tell you because I'm proud of it. This is a Jimi Hendrix plaque right here.
Sick. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Band of Gypsies. I think I got that on vacation with my ex, one of the few times I went on vacation. I hate vacations. They make me nervous because it feels like I'm not getting paid during that whole time. I don't like it.
Yeah, forced relaxation is never good.
Now, if we're going to talk about art, what the fuck is that behind, I think, your left ear, maybe?
Well,
I feel like...
That's like a collage that I made many years ago. That's Thanos. That's Black Panther. This is, but that's Killmonger on the Black Panther throne.
Yes.
Because even my toys are subversive. We have Yoda and then Luke Skywalker on a speeder.
Mm-hmm.
That lightsaber lights up, which is cool. And then I'm sort of putting together, you can't really see, there's like the room is in session. There's a comic book collection that needs to come together.
There is always about 4 or 5 comic books within reaching distance. And
this is the one that I'm propping my phone up on right now. Have you read this, Daredevil Father?
No, I haven't read Daredevil comics in a couple of years. I used to love Daredevil too.
This is an old one. This has got to be from the early 90s. Maybe not early. Joe Quesada, who is now or was the editor over there. Oh, 2006. Okay, well, we're old enough that's a long time ago.
That's it. Some time has passed.
But and then the Immortal Iron Fist series. I'm just looking.
Wow. Basically,
like everything in this room is being propped up by comic book memorabilia.
Yeah, I got my skull. My Hulk, and what happens is I've just started. I know I still haven't opened it too, but and this is like from Planet Hulk and shit.
Is that the Sideshow one?
It is. It is. Yeah, I got it from Susan. Susan's amazing. She doesn't work there anymore, but she's still awesome. But every once in a while, I use that to prop up my PlayStation because that's how nerd shit works.
Look at this.
Yes. Yes.
We're just like hemorrhaging viewers now.
We're losing a lot of people. We're gaining. I know we're gaining some amount of followers. I don't know who's interested in this content, but honestly, I don't know who's interested in this content most of the time. But luckily, my buddies show up and it works out. You know.
Yeah. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I was trying to figure out like new ways to ask people how they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, what do you say? Like, do you ask people? Well, you just ask me. I feel like it's different. We're friends. You can ask me how I'm doing. But like, do like people ask you how you doing? Do you feel like you can answer that honestly? Did you answer it honestly before?
Yeah, I probably am like you. I probably answer truthfully to a fault.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of person, if you ask me how I'm doing, I'm not going to be like, yeah, everything's cool. I'll be like, well, breakfast was really good. And then the 15 minutes after breakfast were a little rough because I was wondering what was happening to my pipes.
Yeah.
Turned out to be nothing, just a little, little rumble, but everything's good now. Lunch was a challenge. Not
okay.
Gonna lie. That's the type of conversation I'll have.
Do you think that is why you're a good freestyler? Because you're able to say what's going on in your mind and think about it and say it out loud immediately?
Maybe. I mean, that's something you and I have had in common since the moment I first saw you. But maybe that lack of filter, that openness, the sort of maybe idiotic trust in the world with my thoughts and feelings is, maybe that lends itself to freestyling. For those people watching who don't know, I've known Malcolm and looked up to him since I was 17 years old. I'm 36 now. The first time I ever saw Malcolm, I was a freshman in college, and the first week they had a poetry slam. And at that time, I fancied myself amongst the top 1 slam poet in the world.
As well you should.
I thought I had some skills. So there was like a slam night, and I was so excited. And I remember there was a friend of mine named Sarah, who I brought with me, and I brought my notebook, and I was so stoked to get up there and do my thing for everyone. And I walked into the auditorium, and there's this guy sort of hunched over in a green army jacket, spitting, just spitting. And he was talking, I've said this to you before, the only thing I remember about that poem is that it was about the Matrix. Which was very like progressive stuff in 2001. Like,
yeah, I think it was how the Bursar was like the Matrix or some shit.
Matrix talk was like very cutting edge at that time. And Malcolm was the first person I ever saw perform at NYU, and I watched him do his thing. I brought my notebook. I signed up, but I didn't make the cut, right? So I didn't get to perform that night. But I got to see you perform. And I remember that it's one of the few crystallized moments of my late teens, and certainly from that first week in New York. And since then, Malcolm and I have always sort of been around each other, whether it was through Jenny, right? Jenny in college.
Jenny Coons?
Yeah, Jenny Coons in college, who I did some sort of experimental play with.
It was. Oh, I know it was called because it's a euthanasia. Was it that?
Yeah. Youth in Asia.
Yep.
A techno fantasia on something themes. I think it was on national themes. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And then through Brandon Scott, who is your sort of, your super partner, and also a friend of mine who I love dearly and have worked with many times. Yeah.
Jen Lyon asked if I'd ever, do you know Jen Lyon? Do you guys ever work together before?
I don't think we have. I know that we just sort of recently, we maybe have connected on social media. I saw something, but anyway, Jen, nice to meet you. And I would very much love for Malcolm to be a part of FLS. And there were auditions, but this time around, in expanding the group, we were really focused on adding women and women of color to the group, because it's been kind of like a
horrible choice.
It's been a boys' party for way too long. And if you see in our documentary that just came out on Friday, we are Freestyle Love Supreme, we added Anissa Folds and Kayla Milady, who's a world champion beatboxer, to our crew. And thanks, Jen. Hopefully we do get to meet when people are allowed to touch and talk and shake hands again.
Be next to each other. I don't know where I was when you guys were doing Freestyle Love Supreme. I will tell you, one of my earliest memories of you, I think you were doing a show called
Rewrites.
You were there with Brittany Manor and a bunch of friends of mine, and I just thought you were fucking spectacular. You're one of those people that like exudes charm and confidence early on, to the point where I feel like if you don't know you, you're like, does he not like me? Is he bored? Is he bored by me? What's happening in his mind? But I remember one of the first times I saw you perform at Rewrite, so you're amazing. And I remember asking you to do something or having an interest in you doing something. And I bring this up all the time. And I feel like one of the things you were like, yeah, it's cool, man. Just don't have it be stereotypical. And I might have reshaped those words to mean the most significant thing to me at the time. But I remember that, and I remember thinking, one, I completely understand how he feels. But two, the agency under which to say it. But three, how much must he be getting this shit at fucking 18, 17 years old to decide I 100% has had enough of that conversation?
Right. Shout out to Archie real quick. Archie Ekong, I DJ too. He was in Rewrites as well.
I remember Archie Ekong.
Yo, Archie got flow. H-Town boy.
Yeah.
Really, yo, you really don't know. Archie in the place and he really gon' flow. This was Archie's rap hand. He was shooting dice always.
Motherfuckers always got rap hands. My shit was this. Like I was watching the words flick off like ping pong or some shit like that. Or
I'm this. For some reason I'm like maybe puppeteering. I have no idea, but everyone makes fun of me.
I feel like you see the words and it helps you do that. Like when I'm there, there's a word over here and I flicked it that way and I flicked it that. I feel like that's what's happening. I don't know.
You are a dexterous MC. I remember you were one of the first people when you were on the show with Portia de Rossi.
Better Off Ted, Portia de Rossi, yeah.
And you did Revenge of the Nerds is the name of the song?
Yes, yes.
So you did Revenge of the Nerds as verbal, and you got your whole, and you've done it since with Timeless, but you got your whole cast. And I was like, this dude made a real music video. Like, it ain't on some like grainy shit, because everything that I had ever done, I was like, we're doing it. We're getting a $500 budget. We've got the music video. And then it comes out and you compare it to YouTube or whatever was out at the time. And you're like, my shit looks so bootleg. And I saw your video and, you know, Brandon's there and y'all poking your head out of the hall, remember? I mean, I know it very well. It's amazing how much of your work actually I know intrinsically just from taking it in. But that was a big deal for me of like, dang, like, I mean, before we went to school with Donald Glover, Childish Gambino. But
which
like,
I didn't know him then, but yeah.
Before Donald, I knew Donald in the Cypher, just from the Cypher. And he was bad, bro. Donald was, even back then, he was the only kid that I was like very nervous about rapping next to.
Mm-hmm.
But you were before Donald Glover, like you were the person who I saw and I was like, whoa, it's possible. It was like, I want to say it was inspiring, but it wasn't. I was very upset. It's very much like, oh man, this dude, how did he do it? How? And I mean, that's a question for you. Like, how did you make that music video? How did you just like make a high quality thing out of nothing? I think this is a question for a lot of people. Like, how?
Oh yeah, the key is to have a TV show.
Right.
That was really the first step.
But I mean, who DP'd it? Did your DP or director direct?
This is what happened. So look, this is a lesson in like what I gained from going to theater school, right? Which is that here's the connections I got from theater school. Here's the connection I got from doing TV show. The theater school connection was I got Disha Deshawn, who is the sister of Darian Deshawn, who
Shout out Darian.
Shout out Darian, who I've directed 1,000,001 times in 1,000,000 different plays. He does this thing, Brobot, Fallen Patriots. So she had directed something he wrote called Entertainer's Eulogy. I saw her. I was like, she's amazing. I can get her for next to nothing. She knew a DP that she worked with. And then I just got the cast from the show. I was just like, I had this song from my own album that I had since college. You know, I'm playing a nerd. I was like, guys, this song's dope. Come do this. And I knew the people I was really good. The person I was worried about was Portia. I was like, she's famous. She's super famous. People knew her name before this show. I don't think she'll do it. But my two biggest gets, I think, because the other ones I was just closer to, was Portia and Victor Fresco, who is the executive producer, writer of the show. Like, I think I'm like, I got you guys a rap credit. Like, yeah, this exactly. Will be, and that's why one of you.
And yeah. It's a testament to sort of your charm and your interpersonal relationships, you know, and it's so funny to talk with you, and Archie's here, and we went to NYU for, I don't know, Wiggity up. Wiggity up.
We gassed up. Yeah, it takes a while, but I got it.
Super embarrassed that I just called you Wiggity up. There was a very small community doing what we were doing at NYU, of people, I guess you would say people of color, right?
Mm-hmm, sure.
Minorities.
Now they're saying BIPOC, which
BIPOC. So and by BIPOC, I mean it was like me and Nitya and then black people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there wasn't really, and I'm trying to think if there was a large Asian representation, East Asian, but I can't recall right now. But
no, not that I know of.
So we were kind of always gravitating around each other and sort of in each other's circles because of hip hop and poetry, and because of just the fact that like you look around and you're like, the rest of this room is looking one kind of way. And yeah, that's what I remember. It's just wild seeing you and then going back 10 years or 15 years.
Yeah. And then how did you get your start? Because you you want to talk about style. I always thought your style was interesting. Talk to me about your influences, right? You have a couple albums out now. I don't know how many albums you have, at least a couple singles, some videos out. But what struck me about your style was that you were at one place, you at one point have a sort of throwback style, very casual, very simple. And then when you want to are completely intricate and can create these sort of multisyllabic rhyme patterns and things like that. Who are your biggest influences and what made you think, yeah, I can do this?
What made me think I could do it was a need for attention. So I was like, I gotta think of something to get to be seen, I suppose. And I love it. I mean, I just sort of, you probably know, you just have an aptitude. You look and you're like, you know, hit the snare and treble, talking about Daredevil, you know, all that stuff just pops into my brain. I think storytelling would be Slick Rick. I think tonally I was compared to Q-Tip a lot. So I think retroactively I studied a lot of Q-Tip. Because Fife was always my guy. Fife is like, now here's a funky introduction of an essay. Now tell your mother, tell your father, send a telegram. Like that flow to me, phenomenal. And then the polysyllabic stuff, I was introduced to it initially through Eminem, Foghorn, Leghorn with an Egghorn, watching Leghorn. But like, you have to take that back. And that polysyllabic style is Big Daddy Kane. It's the B-I-G, the D-A-double-D-Y-K-A-N-E. Serving any and plenty.
Cool G Rap, yeah.
Yeah, Cool G Rap becomes Black Thought, who's also an influence, because Black Thought is like bar for bar. Him and Rakim, you can make the rhymes on a sheet of paper, 16 lines. Like there aren't, it's very technically brilliant.
Yes.
And then for thought, style, cadence, flavor, he's unable to be imitated, but Andre 3000.
Yes.
Oh, and on that fast rap shit, Crazy Bone.
Okay.
And also, dead in the middle, a little, did we know we middle the middleman who didn't do diddly. Like
Big Pun changed it all. Big Pun, because first of all, I mean, not that Puerto Ricans weren't on the map already, but like as an MC, he definitely put folks on the map. My big ones were like fucking Cool G Rap and Redman. I like crazy people. You know what I mean? So I liked Redman. I like technical and I like crazy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like Cool G. I like Biggie. You know, I was into Royce and Cannabis and all these cats. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
wild is you and I are both East Coast, right? So when I came to New York, my best buddy, who's still my best buddy, came from Denver, and he brought all that. I didn't go farther west than like Ohio for a Bone Thugs and Harmony. And then he brought like Freestyle Fellowship, like AC Alone, Micah 9. He brought the Bay. He brought Lyrics Born, Latyrix, Speaker,
Hieroglyphic,
Mac Dre. Like I had been into Ice Cube because Bomb Squad and Public Enemy is very East Coast production. But now we went from toys to like real nerdy raps. We are losing people.
This is a very specific audience. What's up, Tina's in the building, another college
Tina.
folk. This is what I don't know what the fuck people come here for. I think they come for conversations with my sort of famous friends.
Yeah, Lyrics Born, I just did his Instagram show last week or a couple days ago, and we have a new track on the new project I'm working on, He Blessed, with a 16. But those are my styles. I had a friend I like jokingly put on, Mac Dre for sure. I jokingly put on, and Too Short. Come on, Too Short is the simplest, but it's so dope.
Yes.
You don't need a lot when you have a voice and a swag like that. You don't need a lot of intricacy. But Seattle, my posse's on Broadway. But what was I saying? Oh, my friend said to me I was wearing like something. I jokingly put on someone's jacket, a girl's jacket. And my friend looked at me and he was like, you're like one of these Andre 3000 dudes. Like you can't really tell what you are, who you're with. Like your style could be anything. Like, you know, you're you can fit into any circle. You're curious. You're like a peacock, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it's me being weird and crazy, but in my own way.
What's the name of the project with lyrics born? What's this new album? How many albums do you have? What's the name of this new one?
The new one I think is going to be called Grow Up or The Grow Up. I'm not sure. It's like I got 14 or 15 tracks done. I just released a song off of it called Self-Respect, which is available on iTunes, Spotify,
Wait,
all that stuff.
That's the song I played at the top of the show.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's very touchy-feely.
Yeah.
Did a video.
I saw it. And then what's the name of the track that I'm on?
We'll get you on one, bro. So I'll send some your way for sure. Shout out to the Olympics, JFab and Knox, who've been lacing it since the Vanity album. So I have a couple albums. I have a new one coming. You can go on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Google, whatever you use. Search my first and last name, and I'm there.
Wait, now, do you still go by UTK the INC or no?
No, it's too confusing. People are like, how many names are you going to have? So I just do first and last name. You know, I wish I had kind of like kept Utkarsh the whole time. But you know who named me was Archie, who's here. I believe Archie named me UTK the INC. I'm almost positive he's the one.
I was going to ask you, where did the INC come from?
He's going to have to answer that. Incredible. I think it was like a very long name, Utkarsh the Incredible, which was just a lyric that I had in a song. And he flipped it, and that's kind of like what it became. And it was, you know, now it's just, I'm 36. And no, it's not like it, yeah, Archie says 100. You remember Archie. I don't know the story as well as he might not remember either. He probably just said it off the cuff and then we kept it. But alternatively, he and our boy Wade, Elaine Marcus, were in a group together called Vamoose, and I named them. So that, I was like, hey, that lyric from your song, Vamoose, that's a cool name. That's your name. So that we paid each other back with bad names.
Speaking of Wade.
Oh, yeah. That's Miles.
Well, look, we got Miles on guitar, and we got Wade playing his hips, I guess.
Oh, that's a live video. That's from a long time ago.
It's a live video. And it's amazing who's in here because you got Miles who did, I can't remember the name of the show. He's got a couple shows. One's a comic book show. Deadly Class. You got Wade who's on a million shows too. I think he's on Insecure, and I think was on either fucking Narcos or Freeball or some show.
No, Snowfall.
Snowfall, that's what it is. I do research, but then I let it go away.
He writes for Grownish now.
Yeah. What is it like how does it feel to be in these classes of people? Do you feel like you're on the right step? I feel like what's funny is to see, like you have the movie out right now, Freestyle Love Supreme, right? And then you have these videos with people you've been friends with for 10 or 15 years. Do you feel like you are a veteran in this business now? And how does it feel to see the career trajectory of not just yourself, but the peers around you?
I think we were all really blessed, of course. We've all been hard workers. We've all been blessed with some natural talent. And none of us quit. Like, Miles used to drive Lyft and he would show up at the house. Miles quit a job teaching so that he could just work, just write. And Wade he tried as an actor and then he wrote and produced his own film. I mean, you've been doing it for a long time. Brandon has been doing independent theater, acting. Like, we all just haven't quit. Like, the number one rule is just don't give up. And if you have the talent and the work ethic, it sort of fills in. I'm super proud. And Diara Kilpatrick or Diara Feldsot, she's crushing it on the last OG. There are a lot of Gina Rodriguez. All these people that we used to roll with are doing quite well. And that's really nice. And in some sense, I do feel like a veteran. But there's no entitlement that comes with that because I'm a vet in the respect that I've been paid to act for 15 years in some capacity. But when I show up on set with like a Ryan Reynolds or a, you know, like a Taika Waititi or whoever it is, Hank Azaria, they don't know that I've been doing it forever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, they're like, oh man, this new guy's pretty cool. Like when I go rap at the Oscars and I look Brad Pitt in the face, I can guarantee you Brad Pitt's not like, oh, it's the guy from Pitch Perfect. Like, Brad Pitt's like, huh, wow, this must be his first gig.
You don't
Good
want
for
to.
him.
You don't think he wants to do like an acapella off with you every once in a while? He's like seeing you. He's like, yes, now's my time.
He won his Oscar. And then I see like Mahershala in the audience at the Oscars, who like I am like half a degree of separation away from, right? So I see Mahershala and he gives me that look. And it's like, it's that look when somebody knows they're on TV, but also is showing you kindness.
Yeah.
But like the way I interpret that look is him being like, I know he looks familiar, but
There's nothing weirder than being famous to just like 30 people. Like they like really, it's a really weird feeling. Like I remember, like I did a movie, Peoples, and I remember how weird it is when it was to do carpets, because I was like, I don't have enough money to do this many carpets with these people.
People's Wade's mother, Stephanie Elaine, who produced the Oscars, produced People. Stephanie, who produced that movie, came to me to do my rapidy raps at the Oscars.
That's funny. Your parents are both Asian immigrants. How sad were they when you came out as a successful actor?
You know, I think my dad has a real passion for science. And so when he saw that I had a passion for something else, he was worried that it would be a total failure. But I think he supported it. And my mom, the famous quote is, my mom was like, there's only one Indian on TV. This is 1997. There's only one Indian on TV, and that's Apu on The Simpsons, and he's voiced by a white guy. So there are no Indians on TV. What are you thinking? And I was like, no, I'll be the first. I'll be the first. And then I wasn't the first. There was Kal Penn, and before him there was Ajay Naidu, and before him there was Sakina Jaffrey, Sarita Chowdhury, Asif Manvi. The list goes on of people, Ranjit Chowdhury, people who sort of paved the way for me.
How often do you go over your lists of Southeast or South Asian actors who have come before you? Because I feel like I have to go over my list of Black people for things. Do you have to go over your list sometimes? Do you have to?
It's memorized.
Sakina, who I worked with on Timeless.
Sakina's really, really funny. She's one of the funniest people conversationally that you'll ever meet.
Yes. Have you gotten to leave? I do this rarely. I was reading your trivia and talk about how you are treated outside of here. Is your fame as big in other countries, or are you as slightly famous there as you are here?
Yeah, no, bro, I'm good. I can go grow. I'm good anywhere, which is totally anonymous. I get a lot of like this. I get a lot of like, nah. No, I think I the people that support me, you know, Rafael Casal, who I did the movie Blind Spotting with, and David. Rafa has a small core group of fans, and I really appreciate him, the way he engages with them. And those people are really, they support him. And it's a small number, but the love is so pure. And I really took that as an inspiration and a template for how I move through. And I would say that I can walk and go anywhere and nobody bothers me. And there's no like fame. I don't have a fame quotient or anything like that, really. But the people that have supported me since day one have continued to do so. And I really appreciate it. So it's really nice to be in that space where I'm not getting, because you see these larger, more famous people deal with love, but then also a lot of hate, jealousy. They get attacked on a regular basis. I guess the word is trolled. And I don't really encounter that as much, maybe very minimally. I don't know if you do at all.
I don't really, none of that stuff. You know what? I got in trouble like maybe one time there was something where there was folks, and at first I was very cordial about it because my initial reaction is to be like, "Hey, I'll talk and I'll be nice and maybe we could get somewhere." And then I was just like, "That's not who I am. I'm just gonna insult everyone." So that got more comfortable. I think you just gotta take every situation as it is. Like you have to one know that it's not real, but then there's also part of it that is real. And so you have to address just because you have to be able to communicate the same way that every other human is communicating on the planet without being completely unaware, you know? You
More
mentioned
famous?
blind.
Are you
Would you
more
say?
famous? Are you more famous outside of the United States of America?
Oh, nobody knows who I am outside of America. I don't have, well, you know what it is? It, fame works in pockets, right? So it's just like now that Timeless is hitting, like there's certain areas uh, where I have more fame than others. Like all of a sudden, like whenever I call, like there's like an Arabic speaking fan base that joins my Instagram now when I speak, and I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. Or
Yeah.
like I'll get French speakers, or like every once in a while. Look, Timeless was over like 2-3 years ago, and I'll still get like it'll just hit in Belgium or something like that, and so they'll say something, and then I'll
Well,
be like,
I saw somebody.
hey.
I saw there was a lot of the Iranian flag in the comments, so that was really cool to see. Um, you know, I will say the pockets, right? The place where I noticed that I had sort of achieved some level of visibility is airport security, because most airports, the security are black or West Indian
Mhm.
or South Asian, like most, or Latino, or Latinx, sorry. And after I did Barbershop and Mindy Project, I started getting through airport security real quick. Like, things started to become infinitely easier when I like would roll up and I'd be like, "How you doing?" And they'd be like, "Hey, what's up? How are you? Oh my God, your dog is so cute. Man, yeah, look who it is." Like, that's the place where I've seen the greatest positive sort of reactions, and my life has greatly improved across the board. Any airport in the world, the security is there. Pretty much, they always look the same. Outside, outside of like, I don't know, Heathrow or something like that. Even there, they're mad Indians that work at Heathrow that all show love. Um, South Africa, I went there with Freestyle Love Supreme to perform, and they were just like, nobody in the US outside of like, you know, a few pocket communities, because Barbershop 3 was like 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Nobody in the industry saw it. It's a niche movie, and I think for whatever reason it didn't take off the way it should. But I went to South Africa, and it was like everybody had seen Barbershop, and it was the first time that I got any sort of attention for doing that movie. And I come here and I go, I was in Barbershop, and people are like, "There's another Barbershop?" I was like, "Yeah, no, it was like 4 or 5 years ago." I mean, Nicki Minaj was in it, Common, Ice Cube, and they're like, "Oh, well, I like the first one."
Like these are famous people. Um, Freestyle Love Supreme, is that how you got blind spotting?
I maybe through some roundabout way, because that's how I met David like 10, 11, 12 years ago. And then I've always been checking for Rafa. Rafa was on Def Poetry Jam on HBO when Most Def was doing it. And he and I just stayed friends, you know. He and I stayed in contact, and we were just people that respected each other and each other's work. And then just randomly I was in Vancouver working with Adam Devine and Anders Holm and Blake Anderson on their movie Game Over, Man.
Game over. I was about to say because I looked that
And
up on my on IMDb.
yeah, it's a fun movie. I mean, my mom won't watch it because it's very, very inappropriate. But like, I don't remember Rafa. I wish Rafa was here, but I caught wind that him and David were doing a movie. I just was like, "What?" I was like, and I texted him and I was like, "What's up with this movie? Are you in production? What am I playing?" Same as just you said. What track are we doing together? I was like, "What role am I playing?" And he was like, "I'll send you the script. Tell me which one you think works." And there was this. I didn't really have time, and it wasn't appropriate for me to play any role really. in the whole movie, except right in the middle of the movie, there's this character that just comes in for one scene and just tells the story about how David's character ends up in the mess that started the whole movie. And I was like, I might could be able to do this. What do you think? And he said, yep, that's what we were thinking. But I had to finish shooting in Vancouver and basically fly straight to the Bay. And if it rained in Vancouver, the helicopter scene that we needed to shoot would get postponed, and I wouldn't be able to show up to shoot Blind Spotting. So it was just like divine support, I suppose. The helicopter flew, the rain did not fall. I got on a plane, I showed up on set. Rafa, being the wonderful collaborator, and David and Carlos Lopez Estrada and Keith and Jess, who produced it, basically gave me the mic, and they were like, go. And it's sort of the first time I've been able to improvise. You know, they always hire us to improv. I'm sure you do this too. You do your auditions, right? And they give you the job because you're such a great improviser, which Malcolm is for anybody who's watching. And then you show up on set and they're like, nah, we don't need that.
Yeah.
You get the job for doing the thing you're great at. And then you show up on set, and because you're 6'7" on the call sheet, or you're the hired gun for the day, you end up just, doing whatever. It becomes the audition is often more fun than the actual job.
Yes. What, it's funny that you were like, this is the part I want to play, and they were like, this is the part you should play. How do you go about picking the roles that you do in Hollywood? Because I feel like it's still hard. I feel like, things have changed I feel like I'm definitely seeing the roles I wished I could have played as a younger Black guy when I was up and coming. Do you feel like the experience has changed? How have you been able to pick the roles that you feel like are right for you and properly present you in a way where you and your family and parents are embarrassed?
I'm sorry.
You're okay? It's okay. You know what? Can I tell you the weirdest part of this show is acting like shit's normal? Before, I used to just get drunk and crazy and do weird shit. And there was always technical difficulties. You've caught me in where I'm doing it like a normal show, and it's
so put together, bro.
It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Do you know what it is? I was just like, I just need to not be boring, and I'll be okay. But this is, I don't know. This is like a show? This is weird for me. It's weird when this is normal. I don't know how to do it normal. It's weird.
You're doing up great. You're doing great. I said doing up great. I'm falling apart.
You're doing up great. Don't worry, Utkarsh. You're doing up great.
Wagas up. Wagas up.
Wagas up, y'all, boy.
It's so tough, man. Your career is so wonderful because you got to play an iconic role in Preacher, like a really special role that if anybody reads the actual comics, which are behind me, God, Malcolm's role is so fun and it ends so cool. The Boys, that's my favorite show. I love just how over the top and insane it is. I love Garth Ennis, the guy who wrote the original comic book. I mean, I just watched you in a movie with Michael Pena and the Skarsgård.
War on Everyone. Yeah.
War on Everyone. And and Timeless, where you get to be a hero in a hoodie, right? You get to sort of redefine a Black superhero in your own way. Like, you've had such an exceptional career so far. And I'm just like, that's the tip of the iceberg because, as you know, like, you've done a lot of shit. And I hope that I can sort of play, and we are unique sort of weirdo individuals also. Weird, not weird, but yeah, we're strange.
We're different.
We're sort of strange compared to how, in the context of what you think someone like us should behave like, when you look at us, you look at the skin color and the culture and the outside package and you go, oh, that person is going to behave this way. We're not that. So it's tough because like you said, from 19, I'm like, I don't want to be doing accents if there's no reason. I don't want to be, I don't want a 12-year-old boy or 13-year-old Indian boy watching me on television to say, ooh, I don't want to be Indian.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And the pressure was really heavy, even 2-3 years ago, to represent that cause. And lately, the pressure has eased up because there's so many of us now that populate television specifically. And there's so many of my contemporaries where we used to all fight over the same role, who are now occupying different spaces, different roles, different energies, with a mastery and with a confidence and a joy that I feel like that our existence is inspirational now. We don't have to push the agenda in the same way. But like Manish Dayal's on The Resident playing the doctor. Parvesh is constantly working. Arjun Gupta was on The Magicians playing a freaking sexy magician. It was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
You have Hassan Minhaj, who's like a political correspondent, has his own show, one-man show. Aparna Nancherla is one of the funniest stand-ups in Hollywood. Priyanka is like a superhero as well. Ravi Patel is doing his own shows. And I'm forgetting. The fact that I can forget.
Yeah.
Somebody I think who we both know, like Janina Gavankar, is leading a television show. She has her own show on Fox. Like, I think it's Fox. But anyway, that's huge.
Yeah. Getting into the sci-fi world, you know, her entrance to the sci-fi world is like amazing. Do you know what I mean? I think that's been the other thing, is like seeing colored people in the future. Like that, like you didn't used to see that, and that's kind of crazy. Do you know what I mean?
And so now moving forward, it's kind of like we're vets, but I still got to audition for these big movies. Like I'm doing a movie called Free Guy, like Mulan, like those types of movies you got to go in and audition for. And you take the role and you go, the trade-off is it's a big movie. I get to work with exceptional people and build those relationships. And moving forward, I get to move into a different space. And I understand that our journeys as BIPOCs, are we BIPOCs?
I don't know. You know what? I don't use BIPOC, but white people have jumped on it. They are with it. White people are they are on it, man.
As BIPOC
like,
people. As BIPOC
BIPOC people.
As BIPOC people. I understand and I know, and it's not fair is whatever it is. It's not fair, maybe, that it takes us longer, that our journeys to get equal pay, to sort of, and we're not even women, right? I mean, we are, it's different, but like, it's taken a long time to get paid equal to my Caucasian counterparts and vice versa, and all that stuff. But I feel like you and I and our counterparts and the people that we've moved with for 15 years, we're all in a really good place, and it's very inspirational. And if anybody's like can take anything from it, Tina's too is constantly working. Like, if anybody can take anything from it, it's just like stay close to the folks that think like that make as much as you do. Be fucking prolific. Finish what you start and don't give up. And we exist, and our existence is the victory. And like you and I were talking about how, you know, Malcolm said to me, he was like, I'm feeling a lot of pressure because I feel like the Black Lives Matter movement is fading. And I feel the pressure to create something because I feel the moment slipping away. And my response to him was, he's never not been creating in the name of the Black experience. And he's been living that movement since I met him that day in that auditorium at NYU. You've been doing it. So to think that you have to add something to a conversation that you've already contributed to for your whole entire artistic existence is unfair. And artists should know that. Take stock of who you are and the stories you tell and be proud of it. And because everybody else has finally woken up to the movement, doesn't mean you haven't been sitting in the front row the whole time waiting for him to show. I mean,
so you hear that Black people have done enough.
Yeah.
I'm glad if nothing else we've learned this.
Yeah.
Look, speaking of doing a lot for culture, you're fucking doing Mira. I feel like I should put an accent on it, but this is like when I used to say Muhammad, because I thought I was being culturally relevant. We have Mira, Royal Detective, and Mulan. These are fucking huge. What is it like to be Mira, Royal Detective? Is that based on a comic book or a story or something? Is it just an original story?
It's an original property about Mira. She lives in a fictional Indian city of Jaipur, and she's a young woman, incredibly intelligent, forward-thinking, smart. She's a detective, and I play Chiku, her little mongoose sidekick, and it's a pleasure. Me and Cal Penn and I. Sorry, and Leela, who plays Mira, is wonderful, and Jamila Jamil's on it, Aparna, Hari Kondabolu, Frida Pinto, basically like every brown person in Hollywood. Karan Soni, Karan Brar, we've all lent our voice, I guess you can call them talents. I'm speaking for myself. Everyone else is super talented. I feel like I'm just talking like this.
That's really good.
Thanks, brother. But it's wonderful. It's our first South Asian Disney princess, and she's not a princess because she doesn't need a man to validate her existence. She's tough as nails, and she's a superhero more than she is a princess, which is very cool.
How did this get off the ground? I mean, this is the first. Is this the first Indian? You said this is the first one, yeah? This is going to be on Disney Plus, or where is this?
It's on Disney Junior. So if anybody still has cable, you can catch it on demand on Disney Junior. I'm not sure. I think they had a good idea, and then kudos to them. They took into account our opinions, and they took our artistic input into the story. It's been a really inclusive and familial process, which is really cool. And then Mulan is going to be epic. Just for everyone, just to be frank, like I got cut all the way out of Mulan.
What?
It's fine. I was comic relief, and they took the movie in a more serious direction, which I think was better for the subject matter overall. But it's gorgeously shot, beautifully directed. The cast is exceptional. And if there are any Asian or Asian Americans watching, I imagine, I mean, this is how I feel, to see an all Asian cast is pretty incredible in a large, in a blockbuster movie.
It is. I think it's huge. It'll be huge. You continue to be huge. I'm going to take you to the quicker portions of the show. This is the portion of the show where these are theoretical segments. This is theoretically where I have the quick versions of this. But I make this up. So I hope you're ready for it. Okay, you ready?
I am.
All right, random quick questions. Sagittarius, I read that you are that. Do you believe in astrology?
Yes.
Okay, who's a better actor, Heath Ledger or Mayim Bialik?
He's Bialik.
Great. Mindy Kaling show, how many episodes were you on?
9.
What's the formula for salt as represented by the periodic table of elements?
Something with an N in it.
Perfect. Sodium chloride, very close. All right. You did a great job. We're going to take you to the final portion of the show. We're going to take you. Now, how many cartoons have you been in?
I think 2.
Okay, great. Perfect. 2 total?
Oh, wait. No, sorry. Yeah. There's
That's inaccurate.
3,
Yeah,
4, a few.
Doesn't matter. Okay, how many? At least 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we're going to do a thing called Voices Off, okay? You do a voice, and it's only because I'm so tough on myself, but trust me, this is a good show. You do a voice, I'll name the show, the episode number, the year, and the character you played it. Ready? Show, episode number, the year, and the character you played it. Go.
Wait, what do you want me to do? I don't know my resume like that. I'm just gonna make some shit up.
Go. What is it? What is that one?
Hey.
All right. So that one. Okay. Do it again.
Hey guys.
Great. That was.
You are correct.
Is that
You're gonna get it right.
Barbershop?
Yeah, that is the cartoon Barbershop. That is the animated movie Barbershop. Is that what you want me to do? You want me to quote movies or just the cartoons I did?
Any one of them. What was that voice? What voice was that? What was that?
I just made that.
You say you want it, but you don't want to give it to me. You say you need it, but you don't want to give it to me. You say you want it, but you don't want to give it to me. You say you need it, but you